Boys and girls, before we go any further, this video is not sponsored. I wish it was. The TGS was a absolute shit show in regards to the sheer number of people who showed up, both exhibitors and the public. I tried my hardest to play Monster Hunter Outlanders. Ask any of the creators that were with me, like Jinazad, Ryuku, and Sticks and them. This was a game I really was trying to go and play, but I would show up to the booth after all my obligations with other sponsors were gone, and they just didn't have any tickets to play the game, which I'm gonna be real, it really pissed me off, because I'm just like, what is this like bougie ass up? Like, why do I gotta jump through 87 hula hoops to try your goddamn game, man? Just a little bit of a vent session, because I'm actually about to say that I'm very impressed with what I have seen. Very impressed. Monster Hunter, of all IPs, the last goddamn IP I would expect to be functional and enjoyable on a mobile device. You know what I mean? Think about the technicalities and the skill level or skill cap that's required in Monster Hunter. It's a pretty high skill cap. People spend thousands of hours on a weapon class and still get clapped and stuff. So I'm like, man, there's no way this is gonna work. I'm very skeptical, which is why I wanted to try it. But I just couldn't. Fucking lines were cooked every time. They had some ticket service, like, and now I'm looking at their closed beta. Their closed beta seems like, it's like, oh my, like, brother, I love my Japanese people, but holy fuck, do you guys have a way of doing things differently, man? That said, my God, this game looks incredible. I'm gonna just say it. It looks incredible. I am very impressed with what I am seeing. And once again, a Japanese gacha game, but it's only going to be like cosmetic induced, and you know, obviously it's going to have its microtransactions as all mobile games do. Boys, I'm going to say it, this shit look better than Wilds. I don't know if it looks better than Wilds. I'm just kind of blown away with the quality, how they're making it function. There's some intricacies of Monster Hunter combat that don't exist in Monster Hunter games. You have a like Gacha ultimate where you're like, it's a whole animation implemented in. It's like they're doing a cutscene ult for a split second and then doing their move. I'm like, what? I wish we could get that in the regular Monster Hunter games, man. You know what I mean? My voice is still kind of cooked, so I can't raise my levels too high. But enough of this 2.5 minute yap session that I've given you. I just wanted some context. I wanted to preface some context here. I want you guys to go through this gameplay along with me, and you tell me if you think I'm crazy. So just to start off with, the way the character selection system works is right now they only have 4 available characters, and then they have 2 base adventurer characters. Now, what I've learned from what I watched is that the 2 base adventurer characters can actually use all weapons. There's like no exclusive weapon to that particular character. They can use all weapons. And so I imagine this is going to kind of be like your default character. But what separates the default character from the 4 you can choose from? The 4 you can choose from, and I think they're going to be expanding this roster, are characters that are going to specialize in a particular style of build. For an example, what I learned from Gaijin Hunter, a very well-renowned Monster Hunter content creator, he had some footage. He got to go and play this game at the TGS. Unlike me, I didn't get access to it. Fuck you, Gaijin, with respect. And he played with the dual blades class, and what he showed off was one of the 4 characters actually had an exclusive perk to their class, which said this character will deal more damage with fire weapons. Another thing I learned is that character can only use like 1 class. Now, maybe they'll have other characters come out that can use like 1 or 2 classes. I'm not sure. But they have exclusive characters with benefits to the play style you're going for. Dual blades fire weapon, use this character, right? Long sword dragon weapon, use that character because that's what they're using and that's what they specialize in. I think that's gonna be how they introduce in the mobile and gacha aspects of this game. Will they monetize it in the traditional gacha way? I have no earthly clue, guys. I don't know. This game is so early that I can't really answer those questions. But what I can say is that's how the game's going to be in terms of a character selection process when you're trying to figure out who you're going to use going into a hunt. How does it function on the mobile device, Smack? So if you watch right here, this is every ounce of information for the most part that you need to understand. You have your basic attack, which is going to be in the middle. This is how you move around over here to the left. And then you have 3 set of abilities with a dodge. And this is how you draw your weapon. This right here is how you actually draw your weapon. Up here is your ultimate. This is what is like been newly added into this Monster Hunter Outlanders IP. Have an ultimate with a whole little mini cutscene and everything. Once again, this is more of a mobile / gacha game dynamic, which I love. This is one of the good things about these games. So you have your ultimate, you have like your mini ultimate, at least for the longsword, and then you have skill 1, skill 2. It actually works very freaking well. In fact, I now want to go over some of the intricacies I've already learned from watching these devs play their own game. But before we do, I'm going to kind of just let this play in the background. What is really cool about this game is going to be the Wild Hearts element. Yes, they have inspired it from Wild Hearts. Come on, guys, let's keep it a stack. Y'all know they have. I was a big Wild Hearts fan too. A criminally underrated game that unfortunately didn't get the attention it deserved. Had a rough launch. It is what it is. But what they've incorporated into this Monster Hunter that is exclusive from the traditional Monster Hunter experience is you can now build ways to traverse around the map in more convenient manners. Case in point, this can be built. This zip line right here that they're going to use to zip line up there can be used to obviously get across the map quicker. This was a Wild Hearts perk too. You can catapult yourself, which they're going to do after they zip line across. You can even create a wind current type of device that allows you to propel yourself up into the air to reach higher climates and areas of terrain. These are going to be like beautifully woven traversal methods into this Monster Hunter that probably give more of a purpose to gathering materials, that as opposed to you just hunting monsters around the map. You need to gather your materials so you can build things, similar to like a Fortnite experience. I love that. I think that's a more like enjoyable way to find monsters and get around the map than what we normally do in Monster Hunter. I'd rather do this, I think, than get on a mount. Then again, I could be wrong. You know what? Maybe I like the mount too. Nah, seriously, honestly, I think I like this better. It's more of a survival, because this is a survival kind of game. It's more of a survival trope. It fits that narrative much more suitable, I would say. But yeah, this is a element of how you like traverse the map. And another thing you'll notice is you have your glider, just like in traditional gacha games. When you're like hovering over things, you can get into glider mode. Now, I want to show you guys some combat, okay? First off, the dodge, what I learned is the dodge element, which is going to be right above this person's head. You can use that as an iframe to dodge attacks. And I think you definitely did it with the longsword. I think it might be available to all classes. But with the longsword, it's a smooth, like perfect dodge mechanic. She just did it right there. So I want to rewind back just so you guys didn't miss that. So right when the monster is about to roar, if you're new to Monster Hunter, you can literally iframe roars. If you don't iframe them, then you're going to get stunned by the roar. This guy used his dodge right when the monster was about to roar and ding, beautifully like dodged through it, which is really smooth. Now with the like elements down here, you'll notice this is your HP bar, and with the longsword, this is going to be your spirit gauge. And as you fill that up, it will unlock the intricacies of the longsword. This little button right here, you might not have noticed it. What I've come to learn is this is going to be the interactables around the map. You know how there's like flash bugs around the map that you can like pop and then flash the monster. Maybe there's a bigger wasp, so you can restore your health. Activating this, what I've learned is like this is how they incorporated it into a mobile device to be friendly in terms of gameplay controls. You can tap that and it will interact with some of the flash bugs in the map to like, you know, obviously use to your advantage. And then up here is going to be like a palico move. It fills up in a similar fashion as your ultimate. You pop the palico move and it does the palico shit, whatever palico you're using, which it seems they have a variety of them. But let's just show off a little bit of combat here. So he's about to tail swipe. He perfect dodged through it. And you'll notice as this guy's attacking, this is going up. It was at 0, then it was at 1, and now it's at 2. In fact, it's almost about to be at 3. Let's go back one more time so you guys can see what just happened there. So once again, as you attack with your basic attack, you're filling up your spirit dodge up here, and it's filling up your mini ultimate. He just used his skill. That was a skill. That was skill 1. That was his ultimate. Unfortunately, the fucking cameraman keeps zooming in on their faces during important parts, and for that, I apologize. I wish I can slap that guy upside the head. Not really, but dude, why the hell are you zooming in on devs during important gameplay, bro? What are we doing here? It's okay. I'll be walking you guys through some of these combat maneuvers, and there are many more circumstances or like gameplay that they show off where the guy's not fucking to being an idiot, I guess. It's kind of annoying, I'll be real. But so we fill up the gauge. I always say gauge, bro. I don't know. It's fucking low. I always say gauge. You can see that he's also using, and this is going to be translatable, fully translatable to your traditional longsword gameplay. So once again, we go back, right? You'll see there's three, like for this skill, this is like your traditional longsword repertoire, if you will. It's like bing, 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 and then spin. This is that ability. This is your skill 2, I would say. That's what I would call it. You're going to notice he starts to use it right here. 3, right? And then 2, right? And then 1. So you can see it's your traditional longsword combo. And that fills up the gauge up here as well. And it actually goes back up to a skill 3 relatively quickly. That's your skill 1, and now 3's up. Pay attention here because he's about to do the mini ult. I would say this like 3 right here is similar to your True Spirit Helmbreaker. Except they've kind of changed it up in how it looks in Monster Hunter Outlanders. Here you go. You're about to see the True Spirit Helmbreaker. This is it. That's 1. That's 2. And then this is 3. So he used this entire True Spirit Helmbreaker meter. You'll notice now that the ultimate is up. The ultimate. Oh, I'm so happy about this, guys. This is so cool. This is like my 8th time watching this trailer, and I still get hyped all the same. Use the ult as soon as he knocked the person down. Ching! Oh my god, we gotta go back. We gotta go back. Hold on, we gotta go all the way back so you guys can see that one more time. So watch this, boys. That's the signature animation, right? Slash, bam, and then it continues. It continues. Bam, bam. And then about to shing like the traditional like katana way. And once they shing, then you're gonna see all the numbers pop up over here beautifully. Watch this. Yes, sir. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is pretty much a good representation of the mobile gameplay Monster Hunter experience. I think this is something that is very impressive to me because once again, guys, I didn't think they could take the intricate, complex Monster Hunter system and successfully transfer it into a mobile game. But from what I'm looking at here, they absolutely have. And I'm like, damn, that's fucking cool. I'll be honest, I'm a fan. Now I know the Monster Hunter like hardcore elitist fan base are gonna talk their garbage about this game becoming a mobile game, but that's what you have the main franchise for. And I'm gonna be honest with you, they didn't do the best fucking job with Monster Hunter Wilds. In fact, they never do the best job with any of the Monster Hunters when they first launch. The games become good like 2 years later once you get all the damn downloadable content out the way. And so it's like, you know, you can have your elitist mentality as much as you want to, but the reality of the situation is this game looks pretty damn solid for a mobile game that's going to be completely free to play. It's going to have some dynamics in there, I'm sure, that people are not going to be the most happy with, like microtransactions, pay to win, or not pay to win, or you know what, it will be pay to win if it's a mobile game. I know for a fact it will, but it's going to be a controlled pay to win experience where it's more so like a pay to convenience, which people like to like do these mental gymnastics situations where it's like, no, that's just like paying to convenience so you can like progress a little bit quicker than everyone else because you don't have the time as everyone else. Sure, that's still pay to win. Like no matter how you try to like argue that shit, brother, it's pay to fucking win. All right, let's not do this mental gymnastics shit. That said, I'm completely okay with this. I'm completely okay with this. Where I will draw the line is, will it get in the way of difficulty of fights? Will it get in the way to the point where once you max out your characters, the fights are just a complete and utter fucking joke? Or will they still design these fights in a way where a mobile game is still able to have that Monster Hunter challenge that we know and love? Which, from what I've seen, it looks promising. I know for a fact I'm going to give the game a try based off what I saw, but there are some very warranted concerns, right? The concerns I'm going to get into once we learn more about the game, but let's go ahead and continue on here. So another thing I wanted to point out is that they have what's called frenzy mode in this game, where the monsters enter their frenzy mode. Right now, Puke is doing it right now, and they unlock like ultimate abilities and more devastating attacks that you have to look out for. This is something that excites me. This is a positive thing because it shows you that they're still gonna stay true to that Monster Hunter difficulty, where the elements of the fight can change depending on how much damage you do to the monster, and the fight becomes a bit more intense. This is a very valuable thing. If you're worried about how do you lock onto particular parts, that's a mechanic in the game as well. I don't really know where I learned the input. I don't know. It's very possible that this could be the input right here. You see this right here? I'm doing a whole little circle. Sorry, my mouse is a bit small, but it's very possible that this is it. But I know for a fact there's a lock on mechanic. You can lock on a tail, head, any different parts of the monster like you traditionally do, and they'll start working on that area. But they have a frenzied mode. You work down to them. There's even boss one-shot mechanics similar to MMOs, and that's kind of, I'm getting ahead of myself. You fight a Rathalos in this footage, and he sets up this thing around the map that you have to go and quickly destroy, because if you don't destroy it, he will then activate it to do a wide radius attack that will do a massive amount of damage to everybody, potentially one-shotting them. I love that. That's incredible, because this game is going to have, to a degree, obviously some MMO / multiplayer aspects. As you know, that's one of the very core components of Monster Hunter. You get in a group with other people, you fight a big bad monster, and yeah, you have your fun. So what better way to incorporate that than to have some monsters with some one-shot mechanics? If you're wondering, yes, you still carve the monsters in traditional Monster Hunter format, where you carve them up and then go make weapons and armor out of them. The devs confirmed it in this footage. I also will be sharing this as a link down below for people who haven't watched this yet. Oh, I do want to show this off though. The catapult, he built a catapult device to catapult himself into the air, into your glider, to land right where the Rathalos is. I did want to show that off because, once again, I think that's just so cool in terms of hunting monsters and stuff, and it's more creative than just getting on a mount. Perfect dodge through, and let's go ahead and see. Oh yeah, so let's go ahead and show that off. Rathalos is in the air. You'll notice the guy uses watch this little ability right here. He activates it, and a flash pod activates in the air. I think actually, you know what? His teammate did that. This guy didn't do it. His teammate did it, activated the flash pod, knocked him down in the air. That's, as we all know, we hate dealing with a fucking flying Rathalos, right? Well, that's how you're going to be able to deal with that. Now, we didn't get to see the other weapon classes, such as Insect Glaive and stuff. We know, though, that's going to be coming on later on, because the devs did confirm there will be much more classes. And since we know there's unique weapons to each class, that's going to eventually come out. I do feel like they're going to monetize that in the gacha way. I could be wrong, but like I said, we'll have to wait and see. I'm waiting on this guy to do his one-shot mechanic so that I can show you what that looks like. Oh, here it is. He's in his frenzied state. So look, he's doing his ultimate, where he's doing these fucking nukes, and that you have to avoid. And then you'll see okay, we're gonna have to go back just a little bit here. He already put 2 things on the map. All right, so over here is one. This is something you have to destroy as a group collectively. And he put another one, I think, over there. So look, that's one right there. And then there's another one right here. Your job as a team is to get rid of those quickly, because if you don't, he's then gonna cause them to explode and one-shot people. This sets me up to believe and again, this is a bit of cope and belief and faith in the devs, that they are gonna set up some very challenging fights. You know what I mean? And if you haven't destroyed things, well, you're going to get clapped. That's always fun. If you're going to do a multiplayer cooperative experience, it's so important to have mechanics like that. So you can talk shit against your friends if they don't do it correctly. You can get pissed at your teammates for playing like ass. It don't feel fun in the midst of doing it, but it's such an important mechanic for group hunting, guys. All right, now I want to go ahead and I want to move over to the next important aspect of the gameplay experience, and that is going to be our build system. How, Smack, is this going to function and be incorporated into a mobile game? Because in traditional Monster Hunter, you do not level up abilities like we do in gacha games, in mobile games. You do not have character-specific classes that only have one weapon and a exclusive perk that incentivizes you to use that character over other characters. How's it going to work, Smack, the build system? This is where we reference our legendary gacha creator, Gaijin Hunter, who got to play the game. He showed off some very important footage. So in this footage, like I said earlier, this character has, and this is one of the 4 you could use in the demo. There will be more, as I said. Element specialization, fire, can only use dual blades. This is where we start to see the cracks of the mobile/monetary plan. Again, not confirmed. It's very possible we'll be able to unlock characters for free and they'll do a different method. But I have been doing mobile games for quite some time now, boys. All right, I ain't new to it. I'm true to it. I can see from a mile away what they're going to do to some extent. One of the ways is obviously exclusive characters. It's possible it could be gacha. But there's a trend where they're removing gacha in these future games, and they're more so going along the lines of cosmetics and microtransactions of pay to win convenience. Let's say they don't do it this way. There's another way that they can do it. One of the ways is there going to be a dupe system on these characters to elevate their power? Once again, not sure. That's a possibility. The other way is the leveling up abilities. In Monster Hunter, you do not level up abilities. You just craft stronger weapons and stronger gear. In Outlanders, you will be leveling up their abilities. Here's the footage right here. You'll see level 1 out of 8, 1 out of 8. You know, you got your skill 1, 2, and 3. You've got your ultimate. You've got your well, this is the dual blades class. It's a little bit different. I guess this is your dodge ability. Whereas with dual blades, you can dodge and attack at the same time. But there's even innate passive abilities, much like a gacha game, where even those are like unlocked. And to unlock them, you need materials. And materials in gacha games, in our experience, are usually attached to like a stamina system, a daily system where you're constantly doing like dailies and weeklies to unlock these materials. And this is usually a finite amount of things that is to prevent you from progressing too quickly, which also usually leads you to a shop for you to purchase for your convenience and to get ahead. I can easily see that happening. In fact, this is not something I'm unsure of. I'm almost guaranteed that's probably how it's going to happen based off of them merely introducing a level up ability system. Now, some of you might view this as a bad thing, but this is actually a quite normal thing in the gacha space. I'm not sure when they're going to announce it, but you can just see just by this screen how that's going to function. And so that is something that I just think it's worth pointing out. There's going to be a developing system of characters that is going to ramp up their powers and abilities and be more of a maximized efficacy of these abilities for you to have more, so like a in-game feel to the strength of that character. Now, as you can see from this screenshot, demon mode attack bonus, speed boost. You see what I mean? You're going to be leveling that up, and it's going to allow that mode to do even speed boost and attack bonus. This is something you can see from this material you'll probably get from doing boss fights per week and stuff. I'm only talking about my current expertise as a gacha game content creator. This is usually something that will be attached to a boss fight. It's not like you have to buy this out of a shop. No, you'll get it from doing like a boss fight per week and stuff, and then you'll level up that class, so on and so forth. Here's another screenshot of him showing whirling dance, getting those upgrade abilities. And then you also have your Palico. It says level 1 of 5. I'm not sure how they're going to do that, but it has an affinity as well as an attack. And then it has its buddy cheer. So I think there's going to be like different types of various Palicos that fulfill different roles. First of all, I love that it's not just cats. That looks like a little monkey. I also saw something like flying in the air. I think this is an upgrade from Monster Hunter. I don't think you should be confined to one particular type of animal. You should have many different types of animals. I think it just adds to the versatility and variety of options to fulfill different preferences for different players. That, you know, everybody likes different type of animal. These Palicos have like passive skills. Constructs an auto turret that fires a bullet, dealing 420% damage and element damage on hit. I love that type of thing. It's pretty cool. And then over here, he's like showing off like more gameplay. Once again, he was using dual blades in the class that is specific to dual blades. There is an ultimate and different types of things there. And then it was pretty much the rest of the combat. So that was everything that I've learned based off the footage we've seen. It's got a completely different approach to Monster Hunter, but it's still keeping a lot of the strong foundations that makes Monster Hunter what Monster Hunter is. But obviously, it being a mobile game, it's going to have some aspects that are going to be more mobile game oriented, as opposed, so they can make a profit, because this game is free, guys. At the end of the day, they are going to make a profit off of a Monster Hunter that is free for you to play. And the way that they're going to do that is by having those cosmetic microtransactions, pay to convenience microtransactions, and so on and so forth. Once again, this is just my speculation. It's not fact. It's just based off of my expertise in this space. I kind of know where you can see where things are headed and stuff. But the game looks fantastic. Now, one alarming issue is there was no PC port. I don't know if I mentioned this at the earlier part of the video or not, but there wasn't a PC port, and there wasn't a PC, like fucking like place you could go to play the game at the booth. It was only phones. And so it is our job as players of interest to provide that feedback strongly. Okay, boys, strongly provide the hell out of that feedback. We want PC ports Never mind console ports. Set that shit aside for now. If you're a console player, it's not like I'm trying to single you out, but if it started off with only mobile ports, the next thing to ask for realistically is a PC port. And then once we get that, then you get the console port. All right, the console Andy, simmer yourself down. Now, listen, I'm all for all platforms to be playable, but if they right now it's only on a mobile port, I can easily see that being problematic for people. That said, as somebody who despises playing games on a mobile device, this looks so fucking good. I'll play it on a mobile device. But I do think it's gonna shoot themselves in the foot if they don't have a fucking PC port. That's like the biggest problem that I saw as of now. There's a closed beta coming up. It's right now you can join their Discord and sign up for the closed beta test if you want to get in there. It lasts it's already started, and I think it ends maybe end of October or something. But you want to sign up for that closed beta, now's the time to do it. The closed beta starting in November. That's very important news for people who want to try and get in. I'm going to be trying to get in myself so I can cover this game and keep up with it extensively. But for now, that's going to wrap up all of my thoughts, everything I've learned. You guys comment down below and let me know what you think. For me, I'm very excited, but I also have some concerns that are very fair concerns, as well as, some curiosities. Yeah. Peace, love, and happiness. Thanks for watching, peeps. I'm out.